quiet village surrounded by rolling hills, colorful flowers, and ancient forests, there lived a cheerful little girl known as Little Red Riding Hood. She was loved by everyone who knew her. She had no idea that this simple journey would soon become the greatest adventure of her young life. As Little Red Riding Hood's mother carefully prepared a basket for Grandma, she placed fresh bread inside, followed by fruit, warm pastries, and finally the medicine Grandma needed. Her mother closed the basket and handed it to her. Then her expression became serious. "My dear," she said gently, "Grandma's cottage is deep in the forest. Stay on the main path and do not wander away from it. The woods can be dangerous." Little Red Riding Hood listened carefully. She promised she would be responsible. After giving her mother a hug, she stepped outside into the bright morning air. The birds sang overhead while butterflies danced among the flowers. With the basket in one hand and her red cape fluttering behind her, she happily began her journey toward Grandma's house. Everything seemed peaceful. After walking for some time, she noticed a narrow path branching off into the woods. It looked like a shortcut. She paused and remembered her mother's warning. For a moment, she hesitated. But curiosity began to outweigh caution. The shortcut looked harmless. Surely it would save time. Without thinking any further, she stepped away from the safe path and entered the forest. Deeper and deeper she wandered among the trees. Soon, she was surrounded by shadows and unfamiliar sights. That was when she heard a voice.
"Good morning, little girl."
Startled, she turned around. Standing nearby was a large gray wolf.
The wolf smiled politely, hiding his sharp teeth behind friendly words. Little Red Riding Hood felt nervous at first, but the wolf spoke so calmly that she quickly relaxed. The wolf asked where she was going. Believing he was simply being friendly, she told him everything. She explained that she was bringing medicine to her grandmother, who lived in a cabin beside the river near a large oak tree. As she spoke, the wolf listened carefully. Behind his friendly smile, a dangerous plan was already beginning to form. After speaking with the wolf, Little Red Riding Hood wandered deeper into the forest and soon became lost. The trees seemed taller and every path looked the same. Frightened and unsure where to go, she searched for help. Fortunately, she met a woodsman. Breathlessly, she told him about the strange wolf she had encountered. The woodsman immediately recognized the description. Knowing the wolf's dangerous reputation, he promised to guide her safely to Grandma's house. Together, Little Red Riding Hood and the woodsman hurried toward the cabin. The woodsman reassured her that her grandmother was strong and resourceful. Soon, they spotted smoke rising from the chimney. Someone was home. As they approached the house, the woodsman stayed behind, while Little Red Riding Hood went inside to check on her grandmother. Inside the cabin, Little Red Riding Hood saw someone lying in Grandma's bed. At first, everything seemed normal, but as she moved closer, she noticed something strange. The ears looked unusually large. The eyes were enormous. The nose seemed much bigger than she remembered. Finally, she noticed the sharp teeth. Suddenly, the figure in the bed revealed itself. It was the wolf. The wolf had tricked Grandma and taken her place. Terrified, Little Red Riding Hood cried out for help. Hearing her scream, the woodsman rushed into the cabin. Together,
He and Little Red Riding Hood confronted the wolf. After a fierce struggle, they captured him. The woodsman rescued Grandma, and to everyone's relief, she was safe. Grandma was happy to see her granddaughter unharmed. Feeling guilty, Little Red Riding Hood apologized for ignoring her mother's warning and leaving the path. She realized that one careless decision had put both herself and her grandmother in danger. Grandma comforted her granddaughter and reminded her that everyone makes mistakes. What matters most is learning from them. Little Red Riding Hood promised she would always be more careful and would never again ignore wise advice. From that day forward, she stayed on the safe path and thought carefully before trusting strangers. The adventure had taught her a lesson she would remember for the rest of her life. And so, Little Red Riding Hood, her grandmother, and the woodsman lived happily ever after. The moral of the story is simple. Always listen to wise advice, be cautious around strangers, and remember that even small choices can have big consequences. Thank you for listening to the story of Little Red Riding Hood. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us again for more magical tales and timeless adventures. See you in the next story.